Good morning on what is a mild, grey and overcast day. It is Monday the 31st of October. I'm in the reading Nook with a nice cup of tea. And cat, who is not ours, and some parcels to the box. First I'm going to unbox is this decidedly flimsy one. So all in black, so he's very wants to fuss. I'm trying to keep the pointy end of the scissors out of the way of his nose. So bear with me. So this is cut quite nicely. Here, ooh, well, we have a number of things. So, what we have is this. Now, this is this is Dungeons and Dragons Adventure. Learn, play, explore, and it is the Dungeons and Dragons. It's the second part of the Dungeons and Dragons Partwork. Now, oddly, I haven't had part 1 yet, but I have been sent part 2. If you don't know what a partwork is, a partwork is a magazine that comes out in a weekly form or a fortnightly format. That's every 2 weeks, and it essentially builds and builds into a concrete whole, but you will get parts in sort of a semi-random order. Now, classic partworks will more recent ones have collected miniatures of various types, so that includes for Warhammer 40,000, also for Star Wars or Doctor Who or Star Trek. They've all got their own miniature range come through via a partwork. A classic partwork will typically let you build a kit or a complete guide to something. So the ultimate classic ones are the Guide to World War II or the Unexplained in UFOs and mysteries and that sort. But if it's a kit, you might find yourself building a Bugatti Veyron or a or the Titanic or the Bismarck or something like that. But who is it done by? Essentially, the publisher here, Hachette Games, has got together with Wizards of the Coast and done one for Dungeons and Dragons. So every week you can purchase this or have it arrive through your letterbox and basically have your next step into learning and playing Dungeons and Dragons. So what we've got in this issue is Nook is an exclusive adventure, spellcasting explained, a town guide to Fandolin, and how to gain advantage and inspiration. All elements of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. Now this is quite interesting. You think, okay, this is coming out not when there's a new sort of edition for next for 2024, but a couple of years ahead of that. But let's open up and see what we're getting. So now obviously we do get this rather nutty dice set, but no tin. So let's take a look on this. So the dice are quite nice. And inside the back we have this map, which is statue logo. Okay, it's a Darren Endermuth map. Oh, here it goes. Bear with me as the cat decides he's had enough of me. Now, one problem, of course, is that this is because this comes in just a flimsy thing. That this is a bit floppy, and it does mean it's going to get damaged. So finding this in sort of like mint condition is going to be a challenge in itself. And the other thing about this is that it is hole punched. So this is designed to go into a big binder. And ultimately, over the course of collecting this on multiple weeks, This will cost you it's somewhere in the region of hundreds of pounds, but build into a big collection that covers how to play Dungeons and Dragons. You get miniatures and dice. I mean, you know, obviously dice and things and key rings and whatnot and so on that you can play through with your friends. So what have we got inside? Okay, being quite careful is the contents, and this explains spell casting and spell slots. Talking about spell level, anatomy of a spell, how to use concentration in the game, and as you can see, it's nicely illustrated. How to prepare, and it's got lots of nice artwork, obviously drawn from almost what is now 8 years of Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition artwork and style. So I mean, some of the artwork is even older, but here we've got a basic guide to preparing wizards and cleric spells, and a DM tip, so how to cast in armor or not. Then we've got an explanation of some of the different races, so halfling there, and how what they're like in the game, including sort of like this is a classic picture of these are classic images of the halfling in the role-playing game. Obviously you recognise these from the player's handbook. Similarly for the rogue class, and we actually get into rogue abilities and what the class can do. Sneak attack damage, and then advantages and disadvantage, how that works, and also inspiration. Now, advantage and disadvantage are one of the core foundations of applying bonuses in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. You know, it's a flat bonus of sort of like, you know, either I'm rolling a 20-sided die, and either counting the worst if I have disadvantage, or the best if I have advantage. And then you have inspiration, which are keyed into various traits on the character, and when you trigger that, you get a die you can keep and roll as needed for a skill check, as if you had disadvantage. And that, two things from that. First, advantage and disadvantage. Okay, really simple mechanic that has percolated through the rest of the hobby. There are so many role-playing games that use that concept. Even many role-playing games in the old school Renaissance use that concept. And inspiration is a fantastic role-playing tool. And arguably it's the first role-playing tool in Dungeons and Dragons for, well, at that point, for 40 years. There had been no actual role-playing tools or mechanics built into the game. Inspiration is the first. So, and then we've got to also include the rule of cool. You know, is this cool? Is it exciting? Does it add to play? Then we've got resting and hit dice, how that works. Short rest, long rest. Then we have when we move on off the rules into an actual location, and we've got a description of Phandalin, the village, which appears in the Dungeons and Dragons starter set from 2014 with the Mines of Pandelver, and it's only a couple of pages. It's not very long. But it's basic introduction. Then we've got the next adventure, the Forgotten Vault, playing time of a couple of 1 to 2 hours, and take you through the steps of beginning the adventure, and really it's quite a simple map, exploring it, you know, looking at vault features, travelling to the villa, key locations, sort of trap floor, nightingale floor, collapsed chamber. Of course, you've got underground river running through it. Then we get to the statue room, where you will encounter obviously a statue and a classic monster in the mimic, in its classic pose of the treasure chest. And we've got DM tip, dungeon master tips throughout. So So they apply to the particular adventure. And it says of the mimic can be a fiendishly difficult opponent. Characters who pay attention to Odom's math should know something is awry with the statue and may think to avoid it. If the mimic kills a character, don't have it turn on the rest of the group. Instead, have it slither off with the corpse to feast in private. So it's there. There's the guidance again. It's giving the mimic a bit more sort of like action. It's not a monster setting out to kill everyone. It just wants lunch. And then we have an actual player character map which they can use. So the question is, would I sign up for all of this? No. Of course, I've got a lot of it. I don't need it. It's interesting, but it's a very expensive way to get into Dungeons & Dragons over the long term. You can go out and spend, or the initial outlay for your Dungeons & Dragons game can either be one of the starter sets, and you've got 4 to choose from now. If you look at it with the original starter set, the Stormwreck, the new starter set, the Essentials kit, and the Stranger Things starter set, they can all be tracked down. So there's 4 of those, and they're an inexpensive introduction. And then you look at this, then you can sort of go and buy the Player's Handbook, which is all you need to play, Dungeon Master's Guide, useful for the referee in the long term, and then the monster manual. You can start playing for as little as $30 if you throw in some extra dice for your players and so on with one of those adventures, or even cheaper in some places. To get yourself with a full kit of some dice and the rule books, it is sort of like at over $100, over £100. Yes, but it's not this. This will cost you hundreds in comparison. But I'm sure there will people who will get this to collect, to learn to play Dungeons & Dragons, and I think that's a great idea. And there will be some like me who will be picking up the first issues to see what it's like, and to get some of the goodies like these rather nifty little dice. But a weekly thing is interesting, and will add to some people's collections, I think. Anyway, in the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, please do click on the like button down below, and of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a parcel or package containing a book or game from which I will extract a book or game and so on, and chat about it to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice cup of tea. Please hit that subscribe button down below. In the meantime, thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I'll be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.